Okay, good morning. Welcome to Wellspring. My name is Jim Moore, and I am part of your Sunday, May 12th, 2024 service team. Now for a few announcements. Early birds meet Sunday mornings at 9:30 via Zoom. The link is in the weekly email and on the website. Our speaker for today is our beloved Reverend Sandhi. Next week, Shirley Angel-Love is going to do our service. And on May 26th, Reverend Kamatara will be back. Our Thursday evening group is taking a 2-week hiatus and will return on the 30th of May. So you can do something else on Thursday evening if you can think of something cool to do. The labyrinth will be at the end of the sidewalk from the pergola at the back of the sanctuary. Please help by finding and bringing rocks to line the pathway. Rocks should be about 6 inches in diameter, and we will collect them in the pergola until time to construct the labyrinth. We need a lot of rocks. The dowsing workshop for this month will be Saturday, May 18th from 1:30 to 4. The fee is $25. The topic this month is dowsing to find a new home and or the right place to live. And that's our dear Jean Geringer in charge of that. It is with sadness that our friend Flo Hosa Doherty made her transition last Tuesday afternoon. Her granddaughter Danica stated that she was so grateful to have found Wellspring and the wonderful, unique people who make it what it is. Thank you for sharing your love and light with her. A celebration of life service will be held for Nancy Mackey Harris on Saturday, May 25th, right here at Wellspring at noon. She and her husband Les were members for many years. And there will be some food in this social hall after the service. Brian Kurtz will be here again on June 21st, 22nd, and 23rd for healing sessions. The cost is $125, and each session lasts about 90 minutes. He is an intuitively guided medical empath whose commitment to service is the common thread in his life's work. He will give the Sunday message on the 23rd. There's a sign-up sheet over there if you're in the social hall if you're interested in having a session with him. Lastly, our prayer team remains ready to serve and support you. You may submit a request via our webpage or give it to Edward. Our prayer team meets virtually on Tuesday afternoons at 4:15 to pray with you. You may consider sitting in your quiet space during that time. We know that we are one in spirit, and the energy of prayer knows no limits. Now for an invocation. As we gather this morning, we know that Spirit is in this place, that there is nowhere that Spirit is not. We only need to be open to this truth to enrich our lives, hour by hour and day by day. I am so grateful to be part of this Wellspring Sunday celebration, and grateful that each of you are here as well. Some in person, some on Zoom, and some in spirit. As we slowly breathe in and out, we realize and acknowledge our oneness, both with each other and with Spirit. I know and affirm that Sandhi's message will resonate with each of us, and that we will gain both wisdom and insight from her words and her presence with us here today. May the love and positive vibes that we receive here today flow out into our community, growing and expanding to bless our entire world. Again, I am so grateful to be a part of this beacon of light we know as Wellspring, and so it is. Now it's time for our song of joy. You may be seated. Thank you. Let's read together our vision, mission, and affirmation. Our vision: to elevate spiritual consciousness in our world. Our mission: to support individual spiritual quests through celebration, study, counsel, loving fellowship, and service. And our affirmation: with the May flowers in full bloom, we know we are also blooming and unveiling our inner being for all to see. We bravely open our heart so others may feel the inner love flowing through us from Spirit, and so it is. Okay.
So I have a new soloist. Some of you may have heard her before. 5 years ago, I was asked to play at Boba Cafe. We had Vanessa Davovich, we had Taylor Ray singing, and Taden Garzon. And it was a Doris Day review. And so I played for Taden when she was 13 and ran into her about several months ago. I said, Taden, you're still around. You got to come sing. So she's going to be singing today. And the first thing she's going to see is a song you've heard here before. It's called "Oh Fair to See" by Finzi. And I'd also like to welcome Taden's mother and grandmother, Raquel and Gina.
Bloom late and cherry tree
Thank you. That was awesome. Now for our reading. Certainly embarking on a spiritual journey can be deeply rewarding. Here are some steps and strategies to help you along the way. 1. Deepen your spiritual connection. Success begins with understanding who you are at your core. Strengthen your connection with your source, whether you call it God, universe, or spirit. When you know yourself deeply, you can be authentic and fearless, making anything possible. Take ownership of who you are. Avoid making excuses or blaming others. Instead, take responsibility for your thoughts, words, and actions. Loving all aspects of yourself, both light and dark, allows you to truly own who you are. Number 3, understand that your purpose is who you are. Your purpose isn't something external to find, it's already within you. Reflect on moments when you felt most alive and happy. What were you doing? Who were you being? Your purpose is a state of being, not just a job or role. Commit to your vision. Align your purpose with your vision. Ask yourself, if this is who I am in the world, what would I be doing? Your vision is your big, juicy goal, the legacy you want to leave behind. Be a conscious creator. Take committed action. Be awake in your life, aware of your purpose and vision. If you're feeling stuck, move forward. Action is the antidote to despair. Manage your energy. Be responsible for the energy you bring into your space. Surround yourself with positivity and focus on what uplifts you. Remember, your spiritual journey is unique, and there's no one-size-fits-all approach. Trust your intuition. Explore practices like meditation, prayer, and mindfulness, and embrace new experiences along the way. Thank you. And now it's time to bring up Reverend Sandhi.
Good morning, everybody. And happy Mother's Day to everybody. I didn't give birth to humans, but I have doggies. So I wish you all a very happy Mother's Day. And I'm wearing a Maltese cross that my father and stepmother brought to me from Malta. She's Maltese. And I got to talk to her this morning. She's 96, and she was lucid. And she even laughed, which hasn't happened for a while because she loved and was married to my dad for over 50 years, and her grief is extreme. He died at 102 years old. So, and my mother was wonderful for 12 years, and that's what I focus on. She was troubled just like I became, and she was an amazing woman. She was multi-talented and fun. She loved animals and nature, and we went on wonderful vacations. So, and I have to tell a joke because the three of you are here. This is so special to have 3 generations here. Is that not wonderful? Thank you for spending your Mother's Day here, all 3 of you. So this is a true story. My friend went to, actually a friend of hers, went to lunch with her mother and her granddaughter. And her mother said, you know, I don't mind being old. I just don't like the wrinkles. And she goes, oh, Mom, those are laugh lines. And the granddaughter said, nothing's that funny. So, don't you love it? If Shirley Angela would come up here, please, to receive a rose for Mother's Day in honor of every mother here. All the mothers, would you stand up, please? Come on up here, Penny Pie. You get a purple rose today. I think you like purple.
Oh, I do.
And thank you for being such a caring mother and still having adult children with you. And you do it so well. And I honor Amy and Terry, my really, really, really close friends. They have phenomenal daughters and they love them to bits and beyond. And I'm sure each of you loves your child. So thank you all for spending your Mother's Day here, and happy, happy Mother's Day. Thank you, sweetheart. Wouldn't you love to have a mother like Shirley? Okay. I turned 79 this week, and I'm in my 80th. Thank you. I didn't really do anything. I just survived. It is very happy. It was astounding to me. I have never had so many well-wishing. I had 317 responses, and it overwhelmed me because I'm not a popular person. You can guess why. I have a ready, fire, aim mouth, and to have that much love, and I got to go to the river with Amy on my birthday morning with my dog, and we found a really pretty place to sit by the river, and then Terry took me back yesterday, so I've been to the river twice in a few days, and that's just the bomb for me, to see my dog running on dirt roads at the river. And he even got his paws in the water, which was cool because he's not a water dog. So I had a wonderful time, and I'm grateful that I'm born, and I'm grateful that I'm wellspringing. Truly, Wellspring keeps a spring in my step throughout the months because I know that I'm going to speak, and I behave better, because I'm going to deliver a message, and my purpose is to find something that will bless you, that will increase the goodness within you, to encourage you to live at your very highest frequency that you can attain. So today is about Ankh. Have you seen Ankh if you love Wellspring? Ankh. You know the Ankh. It's a... Did I leave it behind? No. Oh, here it is. So Terry's going to pass them out. You each get an Ankh today, which is odd for Mother's Day, but that's just the way it rolled out. But this is the Ankh, and it's a symbol of life, the key to life. This is another key. I gave you a key to willingness. This is your key to life. And you turn it and up to your upward gaze. You keep your gaze upward. Emma Curtis Hopkins says, keep it upward, upward. And call on dissolving grace. Isn't that beautiful? Dissolving grace. So it's the key to life, but it's also the sun rising above the horizon. Isn't that cool? I like that interpretation. There are lots of interpretations. Those are just the ones I like. You can Google it or make it up. We all do. Everything's made up. Might as well make it up to be good, right? Okay, so the Ankh is a symbol. And what is life? What is life to you? What is your life? What is life in general? What's impersonal life? What's personal life? For me, life is infinite energy that moves through me at the frequency of my thoughts. And I can lift my frequency with my thoughts anytime I'm willing to. Anytime I'm willing to. So life is personal and impersonal, like the big S and the little s. The impersonal and the little s is the personal, and it rests in the curve of the S, if we want it to. So I'm going to start off early with my props. My PowerPoint is here. Old-fashioned PowerPoint. So remember, this is the S with the little s. And our monkey mind is the little s. And when we're going through anything during the day, we can call on the greater S, the self, which is life, according to Hindu teachings. Self is life, capital S, not little s, the one that does the war dance. The minute you go for good, it doesn't want to. You know that feeling, that constant nah, 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 nah? That's little self. It's just so tiny compared to who we are, which is life, which is capital S self. So, and then today, it's not as pretty, but this is impersonal life, and this is personal life. And our personal life is much smaller than impersonal life. So, 21 years ago, on Cinco de Mayo, I was hired to come as a minister to a center here. And it was a big day in my life. And the first talk I gave was on the Kata Gita. And when I knew I was going to talk about what life is, I knew I wanted to talk about the Kata Gita again. It's Katha. And this is, I have several translations. And this one was fancy, and I just bought it because it was pretty. Oh my God, it clarified things for me so well. So the story is, how many know the story of the Kata Gita? One person, cool. You have to hear it again, Terry, I'm sorry. So the Kata Gita is the story of a teenage boy, which is way cool, to have a teenage boy being the main figure. And he and his dad went to the town plaza on the day of big celebrations where you give things to the city. And so his father gave a whole herd of cows. And Nachiketa said, Dad, those cows are on their last leg. They're not giving milk. They can barely stagger to town. What are you giving them? And he said, what are you going to, why don't you give me? What are you going to give me to? And the father was really furious, of course, being challenged by a snappy little teenager. And he said, I give you to death, to Lord Yama. And so Nachiketa went to the abode of death, Lord Yama. And there's a saying, when I started working with people that were dying, I read the book Who Dies by Stephen Levine, and it saved me. And he said, you die the way you live. And the Bhagavad Gita says, when you pass from your body, you live to your ruling passion. So keep your thoughts high when you're leaving your body. So I always say, don't be singing Oscar Mayer Wiener song. Don't do that. Think bigger. So he went to Lord Yama's house, and Lord Yama didn't show up for 3 days, and he hadn't eaten. And that's really bad for the Hindu culture, not to be there for a guest. And he was very remorseful, and he said, I'm just so sorry I wasn't here. I'll grant you 3 boons, which are gifts. Gifts. So the first one was, I want my father to forgive me when I get back. And he said, done. He said, now I want to learn the fire ceremony. And he said, done. And the fire ceremony means it's the fire in the cave of your heart that we ignite by being here, by reading, by singing, by doing mantras. And I have lots of rituals and murtis, which are little statues of spiritual beings. And whatever works to get me up in the upper frequencies. So he said, and the third one is, what happens when my body dies? And Lord Yama offered him everything. He said, oh, anything but that. Even the gods wonder what this is about. And he said, I'll give you all the women you want, all the elephants, all the cattle, all the homes, all the women, all the gold. Whatever you want, I'll give you. But please don't ask me for that. And he said, no, because all those gifts are temporary. You know, anything you can sense, see, touch, feel, smell, hear. Is that 5? Anyway, the 5 senses are right here between your ears. If you touch your face, that's touch. So anything we sense is temporary. And one of the biggest messages of the Kata Gita is that at every moment, at every decision you make, at every thought you make, you have a choice between Preya and Shreya. Preya as in pray, not pray. Preya is the temporary, and Shreya is the forever, the immortal that never dies, doesn't have a beginning, doesn't have an end, because everything with a beginning has an end. So every decision we make, we can choose between Snickers or spinach. You know, what's better for my body? Duh. Yeah. So what do I choose? Sometimes I choose Snickers and I pay the price. Next day, 4-word diet plan is move more, eat less. That's what I have to do. And I have to do that now because I really pigged out on my birthday. No. So, okay, so what happens when I leave my body? Now, some of you that read mysteries, do you go to the last chapter and find out what's going to happen? Nobody? Really? I don't either. But I thought, but I know people that do. Don't you? It's like, wow, why skip the richness? Someone blood, sweat, and tears to write this thing. The least you can do is read the words, I figure. I know writing is very hard for me. So I got off track here. Where was I? Doesn't really matter. Oh, I know the answer. Do you want to know the answer of what happens when I die instead of me reading all this stuff, which I am going to read you some stuff. Oh, before that, for Mother's Day, I have some quotes. Have you ever seen this book? It's called 365 Illuminations to Lift the Spirit by Aaron Zera. And in the back, he lists all the spiritual giants. And I love blue ink. So for May 12th today, it says, and this is for Terry, my Jewish friend, God could not be everywhere, so he made mothers. That's a Jewish proverb. The loveliest masterpiece of the heart of God is the heart of a mother. That's Saint Thérèse de Lisieux. And the last one is, paradise is found at the feet of the mothers by Muhammad. So those are little tidbits for Mother's Day. And the book is fun. It really is. It doesn't have dates. I mean, the year. So you can just keep reading it every year. So the answer is, self lives on when the body dies. Self lives on. So capital S self, to me, is vital. To know that self and be as close to the invisible self, the impersonal self, as I possibly can be. Because then when I go through my daily drama, my do's and don'ts, and reactions and non-reactions, and forgiveness and amends, and all that trail of tears of being a human being on earth, sometimes. I have more joy than tears now, thank God. But it's good to know what self is and to decide for yourself this morning, maybe explore it more, like what is self for me? What is it? And so Lord Yama said, he gave in. He said, okay, I can see that you're not going to give in. You're not going to accept the gifts, and that you know that they're temporary and they won't last, and they mean really nothing in the end. They came from the nothingness, and they returned to the nothingness from which they came. Everything with a beginning. So this is what he says. That self which you wish to know, which is subtle and difficult to see, is there, deep within the deepest part of you. Fix all your thinking and all your inquiry on that ancient, radiant self. Through it, you will rise above both joy and sorrow. You're not going to be bipolar anymore. You're not going to be out there or dead. Having heard this truth, you must embrace it completely. Continue separating the eternal from the ephemeral. Ephemeral, right? Thank you, Edward. He's right there. And you will attain full realization of the most inner, most exquisite self. You are exquisite self on legs. That's who you are. You are exquisite, capital S, every single one of us. Every rock, every flower, every animal, every mountain, every so-called enemy. Those that declare war, their exquisite self at the core of their being. The most inner, most exquisite self, the source of true joy. You know, joy is forever present within me. It's ephemeral. It's not temporary. I can access joy anytime I want, and it lifts my vibration. So the source of true joy. Nachiketas, you are ready for this experience. Now walk that path of grace. That's you today. You know, this is written for everybody. Like when you serve people, you're doing it for people. You come to Wellspring, but maybe you come for a greater purpose than to sit here for an hour and enjoy yourself. Maybe you take something from it and give it to others and spread anything that makes sense to you that you resonate with and offer it to friends or whoever's standing still around you. I do. Okay, you are ready for this experience. Now walk that path of grace. This self, which is beyond good and evil, beyond what is to be done and what is prohibited from being done, you know it. Can you describe it to me? Nachiketa says. Lord Yama says, I will indicate it with a word. It is a word that all the scriptures lead to, and all the self-disciplines that are practiced aim for. That word is Om. Om. Let's say Om. 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 Through this word Om, the indescribable self is symbolized. Symbolized. You don't worship the word Om. You worship what it points to. Like, I'll show you something, because for my birthday, my friend he was my boss in the 60s, and he came and visited for a week. And then he sent this to me, which is just the bomb. This is one suggestion on how to keep centered on self. I'm a big fan of green Tara. How many people are familiar with green Tara? A few of you. Yes, indeed. Amy, I gave Amy my old one because I got this one. This says Sandhi Scott on the bottom in case he died. Isn't that cool? He's had this for years and years and years. Anyway, green Tara I love because her foot is coming off the lotus pad. And this one is so beautiful. It has a flower holding her foot. But the foot is off the lotus pad because she's the goddess of compassion in action. In action. Service. Service that gets you out of yourself. Service that blesses people. Service, when you serve one person, it goes out to more and more and more. It's a frequency. Today we're increasing the frequency. So, she's the goddess of compassion in action. And if you want to, you can Google Green Tara chant, and it's just beautiful. I do 108 rounds in the morning with my lotus beads, and it only takes 6 to 8 minutes. It's beautiful, the Green Tara chant. It's like Shirley, it's very gentle. It's very sweet. So I was just thrilled with this. So there's a person, I'm a spiritual counselor, and he said, yeah, well, the Hindus worship all that crap, all that stuff, all those statues, and they just go nuts. And I said, they're not worshiping the statue. They're worshiping what the statue reminds them of. She reminds me of take action with compassion. Stay in compassion as I take action. Stay in compassion as I serve, and listen to horror stories. Stay in compassion. See through to the self that we all are, that they're in a temporary distress, and it's going to change. So it's like a finger pointing to God. Do you stick with the finger, or do you go to God? You say, I don't worship the finger. I don't worship Green Tara. I sing to her because it lifts me, and she breaks through all your problems. It's a release mantra. And mantra means mental salvation. Mantra. When you sing a spiritual song, like Morning Has Broken, I play that in the morning. Love it. Cat Stevens. Oh, you can go back on your stand now. Anyway, my room and my home is full of God reminders. I call her a God reminder. I call most of my jewelry God reminders. I call everything on my walls is a God reminder. A picture of a cow kissing me, a calf kissing me, that's the bomb. That takes me where I want to be, baby. A calf kissing me? Oh. And the happiness. I'm in a yellow Mexican dress, and it's just, I love looking at it. It takes me where I want to be. So God reminders are important, I think. I'm sure, well, I know Deborah has them. Not Deborah. Yeah. Rebecca, I'm sorry. I always say, when you have gray hair, you don't have to remember names. Isn't that awful? Okay, through this word, the indescribable self is symbolized. Just a symbol. This single imperishable sound will lead you where you wish to go. Whether you wish to know the self as it is embodied in flesh, or the self as it transcends embodiment, Om will lead you there. And then he says about possible rebirth. Hindus mostly believe in reincarnation. I go back and forth. I'm open to change. I've witnessed hundreds of deaths, and I know nothing. I know that I don't know. I know that active listening and compassion is the greatest gift of all. It's the one-size-fits-all response to someone who's suffering. It works. It really does. So he says, once the self is known, that self which sees with eyes open or shut, all sorrows end. That's cool. There is no sorrow. When I'm focused and I'm breathing in and knowing that I'm the high self, I'm the exquisite self on legs, all is well. Ain't no stinking problems in self. This self alone is the experiencer of all experiences. It is the sustainer of all life and the ruler of time itself. Who knows this self rejects nothing. Oh, this isn't it. Okay, here we go. So listen, and I will tell you the secret of the eternal and of the self. Isn't that cool? Here's the secret. The secret of that which lives after death. It may enter a womb, and it may be born again. It may even become a motionless tree. All will be in accord with the direction chosen in the life that was lived, through the actions that were taken and the truths that were heard. So as the Dalai Lama says, we're composites of our experiences. We're just composites. And in the Bodhisattva way of life, his book on death is really a commentary on Shantideva's book on the Bodhisattva way of life. And the Bodhisattva is a being that stays on earth to encourage other people to get to know who they are. An encourager, like each one of you is a Bodhisattva. Because you encourage people, don't you? Because you love this philosophy. I figure you do. I don't know. But I love New Thought. I just love it. And I love Hinduism. I love the sacred texts. Ernest Holmes is my main man for sort of contemporary stuff. Eckhart Tolle blows my mind. Truly blows my mind. That book, Stillness Speaks, is just phenomenal. A whole chapter on nature. So the secret is to know yourself. And I wrote, Remember Ernest Holmes says that cute thing about why the struggle to end up in a grave, why, but hark. Let's say, but hark. A still small voice says, man, know thyself. So it's, now I see it, know thyself with the capital S. Because when I know myself, I'm okay. I'm really okay with everything. I know that I'm not in charge, that everything is working out the way it's supposed to be. And as Robert Frost said, he said, I can sum up what I know about life in 3 words. Life goes on. Life goes on. Yeah. So you can onk yourself up this week. You can enjoy your life. If you're cranky, be cranky. When I'm off key, I go, okay, big girl, how long do you want to suffer? You have all the keys. We have a key to willingness. We have the key to life. Turn the key. Open the door, step on through. It sounds really simple, and I couldn't do it for years and years and years, even though I taught science of mind since 1980. So even though I was teaching it, I wasn't living it. I was doing my best, and hopefully I caused no harm, except with Terry Cole Whitaker's interpretation of science of mind, which was very rugged. We were Dobermans for God. We would tell people exactly why they were wrong and why they were sick and what they needed to do to be well. And we just knew everything. And then I met death. And it's my greatest friend and my greatest teacher because it gave me my authentic self. I was a show-off, shallow, metaphysical minister living in Malibu. I've told you this story, and I gave it up. And I got very much less popular. My center went down from 150 people to about 70, and most of them had AIDS, and whoever had AIDS in those days died. So I really learned a lot, and what I learned was I don't know anything for anyone else. That's what I know. But knowing the high self, that's where the joy is for me. In one translation, it says there are 2 paths, the outward and the inward. So the outward would be Preya, the temporary, and the inward be Shreya, the spiritual. So it's it's a profound statement that at every thought you have a choice between Preya and Shreya. Preys on you, and Shreya liberates you. So the other great thing about the Katha Upanishad, how many people have seen either the original or the new Bill Murray, The Razor's Edge? How many people have seen it? Oh, I just hope that you could enjoy it. I mean, the original is amazing, amazing. And Bill Murray did a phenomenal job. In the original, he goes to India to see a guru. In Bill Murray's version, he goes to Tibet. But the Razor's Edge quote is from the Katha Gita. And it said, the road is as difficult as crossing a razor's edge. Razor's Edge. Have you heard of the movie? You heard of Razor's Edge? Yeah. It's not easy to cross. And even in the Sanskrit translation, word for word, it says, it is like a whetted razor's edge, sharpened razor's edge. So the path means business. It isn't that easy. It's just worth it. You know, I can tell you that when Terry and I met, we're in our 11th year of friendship. We've talked almost every single day. I was down and out. There was no laughing. There was no joy. I didn't want to live and I didn't want to die. You know, Old Man River, scared of living and tired of dying. Well, tired of living and scared of dying. Yeah. And my therapist said, okay, today you're going to thank your alcoholism. I said, bull. It was miserable. I caused pain. I was in pain. And he said, no, you weren't ready to live and you weren't ready to die. It was holding you in suspension. I went nowhere. So anyway, when I hit bottom, I met Terry. And we were in a 12-step program for eating. And we encourage each other daily. And then Amy and I have been getting closer. And Tuesday is Amy Day. She comes over. And we have lady drinks, non-alcoholic drinks in real pretty glasses. And we talk about life, self. So does any of that make sense to you? Okay, so let's go within and say, what the heck made sense today from this strange person? Is there something I can use in my life? Is there something I can apply to be more of my true, authentic self, high self, capital S self? Know thyself. You know who you are, your exquisite self, living a life. You're expressing life. You're a vehicle of expression. So what would be your highest frequency today? What do you love so much? Of course, Mother's Day we can guess. What do you love so much that just thinking about it lifts your frequency out of reaction, out of judgment, out of comparison? What really, really lifts you? You can count on that. And as it said, Om takes you to self. Do you have a word that takes you to your highest self? Gandhi used Ram, and the minute the bullet hit his chest, he said, Ram, the aspect of joy of God. One word can get me in a higher frequency, truly, the moment I'm willing. So now you have your key to life. You are a grand cosmic being living in a tiny human body on a tiny little planet. And you can access this grand cosmic presence to lift and guide and sustain you every moment that you wish. So I give thanks for mothers, Mother's Day, the men who nurture. I'm sure every man here nurtures in that feminine energy. The Essene Gospel of Peace. Jesus actually said the Our Father, then he said the Our Mother. Imagine if we'd been praying for our mother, health, and the earth all this time. Our Mother, Mother Earth, your mother, my mother, all mothers, nurturing, giving birth. Katya Gita says, it isn't breath that gives you life, it's the source of the breath that gives you life. And so we take deep breaths right into the high self, right into that which you truly love, no matter what the details are, the circumstances. You know that you love this one thing, or one word takes you home. Om. Om, sweet Om. For this we give thanks. And in India they say, Swaha. So it is. Swaha. Thank you so much for listening. It's a joy to be with you.
Before I bring Taden back up, I wanted to, she's going to be singing a song in Hebrew for the next song. And since it's in Hebrew, I thought I would read a quick translation of just part of it, so you get an idea of what the song is about. Of course, I'm standing. Here it is. Okay, so the name of the song is Erev Shel Shoshanim, which means an evening of roses. It was written in Israel by a very good composer, Yosef Hadar. And what I'm going to do is just read the translation of the first verse, and you can imagine what the rest of it's like. It's very poetic, very beautiful. Let us go out to the grove. Myrrh, fragrant spices and incense are a threshold for your feet. So without further ado, I'd like to reintroduce Taden.
Shoshanim Nesena Bustan Mor Besamimu Levona Leragle Miftan. Shachahomayona Roshesh Malit Lalim Pichel Haboker Shoshana Ektevinu Laila Yorelea Verua Shoshanoshva Havalel Kalashir Bala Zer Mahalava Laila Yored Lea Verua Shoshanoshva Havalel Kadlashir Bala Zemer Helava Erev Shoshanim Semer shela hava.
Okay, now it's time for our offering. Will someone pass the basket, please? Thank you, Sharon. As we acknowledge and receive our virtual and in-person gifts, we give great thanks for the offerings already given and those we will be receiving, because we know that giving and receiving are both part of the one flow. We affirm that we are also part of that flow. We bless these gifts and know they are multiplied throughout our community. Thanks again. There are a number of folks who have contributed to the production of this service, and we are grateful for this service. Our great speaker, our people in the back that make all this get to where we can put it online, and our great musician and piano player. Awesome. We thank you for joining us today in Zoom land and here in the sanctuary. And lastly, stay around in the Zoom meeting after service to visit or join us in the social hall. I actually made a rhubarb cake, and if you like rhubarb, hopefully you like it. Please stand if you are able and read with me the benediction, followed by our congregational song. Spirit in the midst of us is mighty. Joy, peace, and eternal life are our true nature and flow through us into the world, and so it is.